When two cultures collide, which one will stand to liberate the black community? First of all, I need to acknowledge why this debate is necessary.
Whose words will survive when we purge the lies? That curse the divine, cast the pearls to swine. Reverse the design, even merge divide. SaNeterTV with two worlds collide. Might hurt to decide just who verbs will vibe. When we curve all the job, whether girls or guys. No herbs left alive in this earthly skies. SaNeterTV with two worlds collide.
All right, we'll do that later. Hold on, we'll do it later. Okay, I'll talk to you later. All right.
Stolen land doesn't matter where you at on this earth. Africa's the true origin of your birth. Teaching you true health and wealth, knowledge of self-worth instead of killing your health, going to jail over turf. We all truth seekers asking questions. Should we seek them in the shrine lodge or the lessons? Is the answer ancestral science or religion? Is it freedom or Willie Lynch a little different? Is it Indian, Aboriginal, indigenous people? Should we worship money? Is it still a root of all evil? We all born women through shackles if we black. And the only thing that's going to free us is the actual facts. Whose words will survive when we purge the lies? That curse the divine, cast the pearls to swine. Reverse the design, even merge divide. SaNeterTV with two worlds collide. Might hurt to decide just who verbs will vibe. When we curve all the job, whether girls or guys. No herbs left alive in this earthly skies. SaNeterTV with two worlds collide. Is it the gods and herbs or the Moors? Should we master UCC in commercial law? Is it being Muslim, Christians, or the Jews? Should we push the old school and need something new? Is it atheism, Egyptologists, Hebrew Israelites, flat earthers, herbalists? To get our people right, Amun Squad, RBG, or New Covenant. Should we work for it? Should we overthrow the government? Should we all go for self, being savages and vultures? Pan-African, or is hip-hop our culture? Is it nationality or correct status? Should we integrate Me Too or Black Lives Matter? Should we hit the streets with the Panthers? Unify the gangs? Is all-out war the right answer? Are we Asiatic or Arabian? Should we just free Dr. York and be Nuwapian or Sabian? Whose words will survive when we purge the lies? That curse the divine, cast the pearls to swine. Reverse the design, even merge divide. SaNeterTV with two worlds collide. Might hurt to decide just who verbs will vibe. When we curve all the job, whether girls or guys. No herbs left alive in this earthly skies. SaNeterTV with two worlds collide.
All right, peace and black power, family. Y'all already know what it is, man. We here. I got my brother Pharaoh in the building, and guess what? I had to play that intro because this is the brother who wrote the song for me. Brother Pharaoh in the building. He's the brother here that wrote that song for me. What's going on, Pharaoh? That song's still kicking, bro.
Yo, I appreciate it, beloved. You know that was fire, man. I conjured up some stuff for you, girl.
Say that again?
I conjured up some stuff. That was 2 days. It took me 2 days to put that together.
Oh, you know I already know. I called you. I said, brother, I need an intro song for the debates. And you was right on it. You said, yo, I'm going to be going in the studio soon.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
You went in.
I'm going to do that. I appreciated that. You know, that was, you know, we needed that type of energy. You know, we gotta understand that we could be hardcore. You know what I mean? But still conscious, you know, still conscious and still bringing a message, you know. We lost a lot of that, you know. So, but yeah,
hey, man, I like your headgear, man. That joint look nice,
man,
right?
You know the Sabines, man. This is our crown, man. Because you know it's about identifiers. It's about identifiers to label who's who on the planet Earth, you know. So this is one of our royal garments, man. That we suited and booted, ready to go out there. So when you see it, you know it's us.
So talk to me, my brother. Talk to me. When you first saw the clip or the video of our brother Marc Lamont Hill, and he talked about Nuwabian as not being a real language, what is your response to that?
Okay. First of all, let me say this. It's very funny when brothers, whether they've been a part of the doctrine or not a part of the doctrine, come out and say things like, this is not a real language. Because
can you turn it down in the back a little?
Oh, my bad. Pardon me, God. Where my room with that? Hold on,
so we can hear that. We need to hear this clear.
That's my exclusive, though. Hold up.
Yeah. Just turn it down a little. You can keep it rocking, but you know.
It's good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, we're gonna start with the hard. We start with the bangers. We're gonna start with the bangers. First and foremost, let me say, you know, how peace and blessings of the Most High, the balance, omniverses, multiverses, tri-verses, dual verses, and universes be upon you all, the earshot and eye shot of the God. It's your friendly neighborhood, Pharaoh rising, Shepses, Duamutef, Amun, student teacher, the master teacher, the heavens and earth, Baba Yanun, His Excellency, Dr. Malachi Gobino Zadak York-Ocran, always on deck to defend the master and the doctrine. So, the first problem is the idea that people don't have an understanding of, let's say this, what is a language? To say that it's not a language, let's have a clear understanding of what a language is, right? A language, let me go to the white man's definition, because that's what most of these brothers is dealing with. White man's definition in psychology. Not, you know, I don't think that brother Marc Hill is only dealing with the white man's definitions in psychology, but I definitely think a large percentage of his approach to things is dealing with the fact that he left the doctrine. He didn't ask questions when he had questions. He didn't ask necessary people in order to get the right answers, and so he kept it pushing. So what is a language? I'm literally going on the joint to break down what a language is, because it's simple. It's real simple stuff. What is a language according to the crackers? Okay, and a language is what? Principal method of human communication consists of words used in a structured and conventional way conveyed by speech, writing, or gesture. A system of communication used by a particular country or community. That's a definition of a language. So if we're sitting there, when we sitting there speaking, whether Nuwapic, whether Ebonics, slang, patois, these are all languages. Now, what he was implying was that it wasn't an ancient or original language. That was the implications. But he also explained that when he started and was a part of the doctrine, that the language was more like a broken up Arabic tongue. That's what he was saying, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, to 1,000% honest, inside the Language of Time book, this is a book by the master teacher. He explains when he first introduced us to the Nuwapic language, that it was the Nubic language, which was a language that was created by the Mu'minun, the children. They created their own version of Arabic so that they could communicate without the adults knowing what they were saying. So what he did was he took the Nubic language and added on pieces of Egyptian script and other pieces of other tongues. So when the brother was learning the Nuwapic script at that time, it actually was a hodgepodge of different tongues with the Nubic language at the core. That's not what it is now. But being that he left and got left back, that's what he left with the false idea of that's what we're teaching and that's what we're speaking. So now when we say Sabaic, you can literally go back and look up a Sabaic dictionary. You could go back to Yemen, you go back to Ethiopia, and you find a Sabaic script, or it's written in stone, right? That was spoken by Sheba, or what they call Makeda. So this is literally the language that we're speaking now. See what I'm saying? You could go get a Sabaic dictionary that has nothing to do with the Sabaean, us as Sabaeans, or the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Gobino Zadak York. He reintroducing us to our language. That's what he's doing. Now let me build on another thing with the language. I have some notes for this. It's very important. Every group of people, every sovereign nation, not only do they have to have a language, but they have what's called a language council. They have people that keep their language relevant to stand the test of time. So if I would ask, is Arabic an original language? The answer would be no. But there was a council that came together of different linguists from worldwide that started to put together pieces of the Arabic language from other languages in order to keep it relevant as new technology, new developments, and new evolution goes on, so that the people will be able to keep into. Because there's no word in Arabic for microwave. There's no word in Arabic for the refrigerator. You see what I'm saying? So linguists have to come, and it happened with Hebrew, it happened with Arabic, and every country, China, Germany, French, all of them have what's called language councils. The technical terminology is language regulatory committees. Their sole purpose is to keep the language relevant and up to date, so it doesn't fall out of time, so that the culture is not obsolete. So one of the identifiers, the ability to keep your language relevant, is a mark of sovereignty and autonomy.
You got E-Man Bashir in the building, and he coming out the gate swinging. He said, man, he's lying like a rug, man.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. As long as you keep your shape up right. You mean
Right.
Bashir? You mean
I
Bashir?
need you and Bashir to sit down. That'll be fire right there. You know Bashir, right?
No, I'm familiar. I'm familiar with Bashir. The brother that's trying to turn the brothers back over to the Arabs. He got the new Arab dude. The new Arab god that he want us worshiping. Yeah, we ain't with it. So this is what you can look up, right? Look up the Hebrew Academy in Brooklyn, and the Hebrew Academy in Israel. This is what the Yehudi did in order to maintain and establish their language and use their language in sciences, in mathematics, and all around the board in order to solidify their culture for their people. We have to have our own language. That's a necessity as a sovereign, fully autonomous nation. So when the master teacher is introducing this to us, a lot of people's going against it, and they think they're even offended him by saying, oh, he made it up. If he made it up, does that make him less or more divine? If he made it up when nobody came to give us our own language. Because as long as you're using the Mukaso or the Caucasian psychology and definitions, you're trapped within the confines of their control. That's the reality. But when we told you we Nuwapi, we told you that we're Sabaean, you have to come to us to get the definition, because we're gods of our own destiny. And we're constantly moving because we're alive. And the language is going to keep growing until we solidify a fluent nation of the next generation where they're speaking fluent Sabaic. It's ours. We ain't looking for everybody to accept it. It's what we speaking to each other. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, I got you, brother.
Okay.
I want to ask you, where are the New Wabians today? Because I remember I used to see them damn near every day. I go 125th, they down there. It's like the New Wabians is dead. It's like they don't exist no more. Where are the brothers? What are the works that y'all doing? We don't see y'all brothers in the street no more. What happened?
That's an excellent question, God. I'm gonna tell you, I'm first speaking for myself first and foremost, right? I personally haven't been on the streets because first and foremost, I got to solidify home base. I'm not running around propagating and getting in everybody's face if my shit's stinking. You dig what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I got to solidify. You can't build a castle on quicksand. You dig? So the foundation got to be right. So and I in that case, you know, we deal with right knowledge, right wisdom, right understanding, which leads to right thinking, right reasoning, and right action. So we're in the right action phase of the cycle. So now you have more brothers and sisters that have been focused on their internal family structures to solidify. And we're about to listen. In a heartbeat, I'm telling you, mark this time frame that you asked this question. In a heartbeat, we're about to be everywhere. Just like back in the days in the Ansar to Allah, when we had the white, you're going to see us everywhere in the black and gold, because it's that time again. Because one of the issues that the people have with the doctrine of Wu-Sabat is that they don't know it. When you talking to us, they talking to us based on what the old school was. They don't even understand or know what the new doctrine is. You see what I'm saying? So we got to get out there and get re-familiar with the people in order to walk them through where we're at now. Like, for instance, as Sabaeans, we don't bear witness to none of the biblical characters being our people. See, but if I take you back to the Ansar, you'll be saying, oh, well, Moses was black. Noah was black. Jesus was black. Yeah, but that was the doctrine at the time that was being taught.
Now, hold on.
Go ahead.
I love where you're going right now.
Go ahead, girl.
This is what I'm talking about. I remember when y'all was in them streets and y'all was banging on the Hebrews. Now it looked like there's a turn. It looked like the Hebrews now are in the streets and they banging on the Nuwapians, like the head is chopped off. Well, the Nuwapians is running around scared to death to even get in the ring with a Hebrew Israelite. Hebrews been calling Nuwapians out for a long time. Don't forget, Dr. York wrote the book. How many questions to ask a Hebrew Israelite?
360 questions to ask a Hebrew Israelite.
And so now the Hebrews are coming out saying, we got questions to ask y'all. And it's like the Nuwapians is like,
well, the reality guard is they had 30 years to answer those questions. So of course they got the answers now. Okay. Well, let's start there. Secondly, there's not a debate between a Nuwapian or a Sabaean and a Hebrew Israelite, Muslim or a Jew or a Christian, because all of them are believers. They don't claim to know anything. See, we deal with knowledge and actual fact, and they deal with beliefs. They don't have to have any evidence. That's why none of their prophets, you can find any bones or any relics or anything from any of their belief systems, but still they take up most of the population of the planet because they don't need any evidence. It's based on how they feel. And so I'm not arguing and debating with somebody who doesn't know anyway. You're a believer. Just by stating you're a believer is testimony that you don't know. And you're okay with not knowing. So what am I sitting there? I got the facts. A perfect example. I can sit there and debate with somebody about the sky being blue and about the water being blue. How many times have you drank water? Is the water blue? Is the water blue? No, water's not blue. Is the sky blue? No, the sky is not blue. Does the sun rise and set? No, the sun doesn't rise and set. Yet inside the religions, they wait for the sun to rise in order to make prayer. They wait for the sun to set in order to do for the Sabbath. Inside the religion, the God of the Bible, the Quran, the New Testament, we call those the 3 weapons of mass destruction. That's what we call those. Okay? And those things, they teach us fallacies as fact. And they don't have to have no reality.
Talk to me, brother. For the people that may not know, what are the teachings and goals of the Nuwabian Sabaeans?
Let's go there.
And so hold up. Is this a new word? Nuwabian Sabaeans?
No, that's 2 different words.
Okay.
Another transition, just like the Ansarullah, Nubian Islamic Hebrews, Holy Tabernacle Ministries, Nuwabian Nation of Moors, the Nuwabians with the B, then the Nuwapians with the P. Now it's the Sabaeans.
Oh, okay.
Some people are still holding on to the old school. I mean, we'll still be Nuwapians because they both center back to Napata and Meroe.
So what is the Sabaeans? What is the Sabaeans? The connection. So answer the whole question right here is what are the teachings and goals of the Nuwabian Sabaeans?
Okay. Well, Nuwapians / Sabaeans, right? Sabaeans are the host. We Sabaeans are those that bear witness that we are descendants from Saba, which is the star constellation of Sirius, tying into going back to the Dogon and Mali, you know what I'm saying? And in Egypt, the Sirius star constellation is a septet, right? Of the 9, and we're named after Sheba, going back to the Sabaean language, named after Sheba or Queen of Makeda or Hatshepsut in ancient Egypt, who was hermaphrodite, who was building a stargate to relink us to the stars, like what's the brother name? Akhenaten, who the husband of Nefertiti. Hold up, but let me give you what the masters say, because that's all it's about, man. It's about what the masters say, man. For real. So Wu-Nuwap is our culture. Animism is our Za'am, or quote unquote religion, right? Za'am. And in the Sabaean language, it means opinion, because that's what a religion is, your opinion, because it's not based on fact, right? So animism is the opinion that all life is produced by the spiritual force. All natural phenomenon has spirit or breath. So that's the basis of our quote unquote religion. Wu-Sabat is our culture and our spiritual science, taking us back to our ancestors, P.H.A.R.A.O.H, who they call Neter. You know, but they roll it off to the Neter without the they don't have any vowels and they just have all consonants. Another reason why they have to get involved with creating a language also. Hold on, let me I gotta give the people something to look up. The process. Let me know if I'm too loud because I'm a very loud person.
Nah, you good, brother.
All right. Okay, the art form on developing and structuring your language that most nations and linguists use worldwide is called lexicography. It's lexicography or lexicography. That's what would be the proper pronunciation. And that's the art of restructuring ancient tones and languages, right? Utilizing other languages. So this is a everyday tactic that's used by sovereign and autonomous nations worldwide. But so-called black people in America are conditioned to be slaves. So anything that breaks them outside of the psychology of the masters, they gotta buck against it. What are you doing? Who gave you permission to do that? You see what I'm saying? So that's very important, bro. So Wu-Sabat or Wu-Sabat is the science of sciences and the science in sciences. Now, before I go on with that, I have to, if you don't mind, God, I want to address a lot of things that the brother Marc Lamont Hill said.
Go ahead, brother. You got the floor, brother.
Okay. And because I time-stamped it. I time-stamped him. You know what I'm saying? So at 3:03, right? 3 minutes and 3 seconds, he was talking about, he made this comment about seeing some boys sitting on Baba's lap.
Okay.
He walked in, first of all, he was walking the land and he walked in an unauthorized spot. Mm-hmm. Let's keep it funky. So I'm gonna tell you my own personal experience. Making a my garage, right, which is the journey within, where we go 24 circuits, 12 circuits inside. Every corner, there's a prayer or supplication to P.H.A.R.A.O.H, and then we do 12 circuits coming back out the circle, surrounding the Black Pyramid, right? So when you at the end, you make a prayer, and some people will go inside the Black Pyramid. Those that were, had permission and were qualified. Nigga like me try to go in the Black Pyramid. Okay, I'm out here on the land, nigga. I want to see what's in the Black Pyramid. Right? That's why I always got in trouble, right? Whatever. So I'm stopped at the door. Secure, bro. What you doing? This not the spot. Nah, nigga. You can't go in there. Every place on the land had you had to be authorized to go into the spots. So the brother's saying that he's willy-nilly just walking on the land, and then he walks into the Ramsey's joint, and the children are in there roller skating. All right? He ain't got no kids in there. What are you doing inside? You know what I'm saying? Inside the spot with the children. Are you assigned to babysit the children? You know what I'm saying? So he said, and another thing he said as he walked in, first thing they said is that, bro, you're not supposed to be here. And he turned around and walked out. But he said he's seen 2 boys on the master teacher's lap. Question: were those 2 of his sons? What happened before, that had them on his lap? You know what I'm saying? Could they been 2 of his sons or 2 brothers, young brothers that was fighting and sitting there, and he's like, look, y'all niggas gonna have to chill. We don't know what that was. But the fact that he threw that out there and just left it out there was like, yeah, my suspicions and all. I mean, as a journalist, as somebody do researching, that was wrong. You know what I'm saying? That was in order to incite thought patterns. So I'm like, that has to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Because did you see anything happen with those boys? No, he couldn't say he couldn't even build no further on the situation because he got kicked out as soon as he walked in there. You understand what I'm saying? Okay.
Well, don't forget, he also talked about the energy and how, it bothered him and he had to get up out of there because he felt something like some strange stuff going on.
That's a fact, bro. Listen, you could go to a lot of places and feel energy of people just they don't want you there. You go in the wrong masjid, even as a devout Muslim, and niggas be like, you need to go to another masjid down the block, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's like that, So another thing he said, right? He said he fell out with Pops because he asked about him being both the grandson of Muhammad al-Mahdi and the grandson. He said David P. York, but what he was implying was Ben York of the Lewis and Clark expedition in Louisiana. And so the problem is, I challenged the brother to bring forth any evidence anywhere in the doctrine where the master teacher said that on the same side, on his father's side, that he was from both Ben York and the Mahdi. Because everything that we have says that from his mother's side, he was from Ben York, and from his father's side, he was from the Mahdi in the Sudan.
Now, you're not denying that he was a member of the Nuwapians. You are not denying that.
I can't deny he got attacked, but to the extent of what kind of member he was he a heavy reader? I don't know. I don't know those things.
Yeah, he said he was a heavy reader. He also said, I don't know. What's the status? How is the status there? Like,
he said,
was his status above yours? Because remember, hold on, I'm trying to let you remember, he was also one of Dr. York's drivers.
No,
meaning
he was a driver
right?
of brothers and sisters that was coming from Atlanta that was visiting the land.
Right, but he said
not
he was
Dr. York's driver.
He said he was a Dr. York driver. Not that he was driving Dr. York, but he was put in that position by Dr. York to go outside, go pick up the people from Philly or wherever, drive back
and drive it back and forth.
That's what I'm talking about.
He was the dollar cab out there.
Okay.
He was the dollar cab. Nope. Listen, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Did you ask people the questions in order to get the answers? Is where I'm at. Because you made a statement that Doc said that both Ben York and the Mahdi are his grandfathers or great grandfathers on his father's side, and that's inaccurate. That's not right and exact. Now another thing, he made a statement. Okay, just for the record, that's in 8 minutes and 55 seconds in an interview with you in Jabari. Okay, when you get to, he was challenging the idea of where the master teacher was born. This is what I give everybody. We challenge everybody to do this. Research at the Departments of Health and Vital Statistics nationwide. Start with Boston. You go to New York, then go to Georgia, and then do every state for the years of 1941 to 1950 and find somebody by the name of Dwight York that was born. Because the master teacher was born in 1945. So between 1941 and 1950, find somebody born under that misnomer that they have him hostage under, Dwight York. You can't find them in the records in the health and vital statistics world in this country. You don't find it. We already did the research. It doesn't exist. They made up the vessel in order to trap Malachi in the vessel of Dwight and lock him up. So that's something I challenge to go ahead and do that. Dig that up. Another thing, the brother was crazy. The master don't speak Arabic. You fluent in Arabic, and you just starting to write some stuff and get billed with the Palestinians and all that, right? But this man been teaching since 1963. All right, let's walk through that. So he's saying that the master lied about when he started learning Arabic. The master said that he was born and raised speaking Arabic. It's his first language. He said Sheikh Dawood was his mentor in general. Not that Sheikh Dawood taught him the Arabic language and that's where he learned it from, but he was his mentor and teacher, right? And he also said, and I have the reference, where you could go find, I think it's inside the Akashic records, where he said in page 25 and 26 in the language of time, Baba literally says that and shows a picture of his degree from the University of Khartoum that the brother said he never seen. And it says, and he has the Arabic version and the English copy that says that he got the degree in the year 1975, and it was a degree of the arts in Arabic from the University of Khartoum, a bachelor's degree in the arts for Arabic. So do the research on that, because what's happening, brothers is coming, they think they got easy food, easy pickings by shooting at the master, when niggas would be running and hiding if not even if Baba was out, if Baba had open phone calls to speak to y'all niggas live, y'all wouldn't have nothing to say about it. That's a fact. Because each one of y'all will have a whole book breaking down your whole life, your mamas and your fathers, back all the way 4 generations to explain to the world who you are and what you're about. Everybody know that. So my thing is, I'm not going to sit back and just let anybody, like the brother Marc Lamont, I mean, he doing what he do, but let's not get it twisted. Bro, CNN, Fox News, he said he was representing the people. That's why he got kicked back. But now you coming to the chitlin circuit. Now you want to be a part of the halal chitlin circuit, right? So now you want to come, okay, who's easy food that I could throw daggers at and keep it pushing? Nah, we ain't having that, bro. Especially if you're not saying nothing that's right and exact. You ain't even saying nothing that's right and exact, dog. Okay. Moving on, right? We're gonna move on. Because I just had a lot of things from seeing his brother talk, and I said, okay, well, let's talk about it. In 12 minutes and 9 seconds, they talking about the plea agreement, right? And the idea of, first of all, the idea that he pleaded for 135 years, that's not actual fact. What you're talking about is the difference between the state and the federal case. The state, they were losing their case. They dead docketed the case. Look up what a dead docketed case is, please, people in the legal world, what a dead docketed case. I think I wrote down a definition for the people. The state case with dead docketed, meaning that the prosecution suspends the case indefinitely, but they can reinstate it at any time but it can be reinstated by the court. Okay, look. The state case was dead docketed, and then the feds came with a superseding indictment. First of all, what happened with the plea? What happened with the plea was, if the plea would have went through, which is why Doc was taking the plea, he would only have to do 3.54 years. So when the judge, so again, if he took the plea would have went through, he would have did 4 more months and would have came home. That's why he took the plea, because the plea was going to the original guidelines, the original charge was from 1993. That's what they was going for. So they had to deal with the sentencing guidelines from 93. The judge wanted to go from the sentencing guidelines of 2002, which gave him 20 years. So he was taking the plea from the guidelines in 1993, which had him released in 3.5 to 4 years. And he already did almost 3 years. That's why he was taking the plea. And then when they changed it, it was withdrawn. Okay? So let's go into that. You can find that information in the kidnapping of Dr. York. And still with that plea, the judge was going from the pre-sentencing report, which was actually bogus. To this day, it still needs to be challenged. It was a bogus pre-sentencing report. You know everything. When you go through the system, they do the pre-sentencing guidelines and all that stuff, and they was freestylers trying to trap them there. So that's another thing. Now, both Jabari and the brother said that the federal charge is the same thing. Then that's a technicality. They're saying, oh, he pled to the federal charge. He didn't plead to the federal charge. And it's not a technicality. The federal charge is not molestation. He is not convicted of molestation. First of all, Malachi Zadok York wasn't convicted. His name wasn't even in the search warrant. And it popped up in the indictment, but they came after Dwight York. That's why I brought up Dwight earlier. And that it's a made-up, fictitious vessel that they wanted to trap Malachi in. But the Mann Act was that they created for Jack Johnson because he was knocking down all the white women and was crossing federal lines with the white women. And they created the Mann Act, which is supposed to deal with trafficking women for the sake of prostitution. And then they say immoral purposes with women. In this case, the immoral purposes with Jack Johnson was the fact that he was marrying a white woman. That's why they created that charge. That's why they created that. They misused it dealing with the master teacher and then provided no evidence of him trafficking or traveling with any anybody that was mentioned in the damn case. So it's still a false situation. Now, I like the brother Marc Lamont Hill. I think his ego and his expertise will force him to dig deeper into the situation, and he's going to uncover the jewel of the century, that one of our best has been kidnapped and snatched from us in order to stop our liberations worldwide. Okay, Al. Al just threw 20 at you. That's my brother right there. Yeah, this is our time. And the master teacher is telling us we don't need their religions. We don't need their system. We don't need their anything. All we need is to relink with Africa and the indigenous people here and create our own, like everybody else. And that's the fear. I'm telling you, I think the brother Marc Lamont Hill is Muslim. I think most of these people...
Well, he did say he took a shahada.
This is what I'm saying. But I think when he left from our tribe, that he went back to the masjid. And as an obligation, you got to go against the enemies of Allah. See? So the Arabs are, which is no surprise why he's over there in Palestine and he's talking about, yeah, I'm looking for the black Palestinians. Well, there's enough niggas here that's going through trap. What you going all the way over there to look for drama for, nigga? We got stuff going on right here, God. That's not being spoken of. That's not being dealt with. That's not being dug into. And he has a platform that we can dig into, like the fact that the master teacher is a full diplomat of Liberia, Council General of Liberia. That's a fact. You can research it. Why are they not researching it? What's the agenda with the people that they don't want to see the facts? And the idea that niggas is lying. You know what I'm saying? That's an issue, bro. That's an issue. Why are they lying on the master? I'm going to tell you why. Because he destroyed the religions, bro. Because he showed that the religions were false. Why is people like Chuck Morgan? Let's
Don't
go.
call that name, bro.
We calling niggas out, man. This is a different time, beloved. We coming out. This is a different time. We want it. We want all the smoke. Set the barbecues. Get the grills together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Little Sweet. That's what I call him. That's my name for him. Little Sweet. So why is Little Sweet defending the religions? See what I'm saying? Why does he use all his energy and time in order to try to show how the Nuwapian science and the Wu-Sabat is false? But you was battling and debating with the Christians for years, utilizing the doctrine. Are you Christian now? Are you Muslim? Are you Jew? What are you dudes? What skin you got in the game? Because you telling people to stay away from Wu-Sabat, stay away from Nuwapu. But what are you, bro? Who are you working for? What's your agenda? Because we're working for the people. We want to free the minds of the people. That's a fact. If you disagree with the methodology and the doctrine, show us an alternative. We don't even know what these niggas is, son. These niggas, can you tell me what Chuck Morgan is?
Nah.
Niggas don't know what he is, but they listening to him as a reference because the believers are billions strong. And he knows that. So he's going to help the believers because they have no facts. I'm going to help y'all do to the Nuwapians what the Nuwapians did to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reality. So, but why? Because you care about them? Or was it because of money? Because you was hustling out there. We got the videos with him saying his wife was mad at him out there hustling and no money was coming in because of the case. So he switched up and went to the other side. Look up a brother. Look, not even brother. Michael Heiser, right? Michael Heiser is he was a preacher that taught like language and history of the Bible, right? And then he became the enemy of Zechariah Sitchin that teaches about the Anunnaki, right? By him tying his name to Zechariah Sitchin, every time you look up Zechariah Sitchin, you see Michael Heiser. He became famous from latching on to Zechariah Sitchin, rebutting, right? Chuck Morgan called up Michael Heiser to find out how do you do that? And now he's doing it with Dr. Malachi Z. York. He's trying to make a name for himself to be heads and tails with the master teacher because he has no place to go after the doctrine. Because once you go from the truth, where you go? Where you going after the truth except for back to sleep, nigga? You see what I'm saying? So now he's trying to tie in. So every time you think about the master, you got to think about his ashy ass. Nowadays, it's over for that, bro. These dudes is bozos and they lying. They lying.
Okay, let me ask you this, brother.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got to ask you this because a lot of people run from this question whenever you got a brother out there by the name of Malik. And Malik, he keeps this question alive. Why does Chuck Morgan focus on so much attention on the pickle man? This is what Malik always brings to the people. Who is and what is the goddamn pickle man? I'm like, yo, I don't know what the hell that is.
Let me tell you, out of the thousands of books the master teacher wrote, how many books you think he mentioned the pickle man in? What? 1, maybe 2? So what is the agenda? The agenda is to trivialize the doctrine. That's the agenda. It's to trivialize, to downplay the intelligence of the people that's teaching. What makes you think that we even worry about? The pickle man was used in a list of explanation of extraterrestrials, of aliens. So are we going to talk about the grays every time we have a conversation about the doctrine? Every time we talk about the NOI, are we going to talk about the mother plane? We're going to talk about Yaqub every time we talk about the NOI? Are we going to talk about, you see what I'm saying? Because that's a way to devalue the teachings. That's why they want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about the fact that we introduced you to the Anunnaki, that we introduced you to no longer fearing the monotheistic God. It was us that stopped you from fearing God by putting up who was Jesus sent to, who was Jesus' father, who is God. God, what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? We had you question it. Does the New Testament contradict the Quran? Is the Quran authentic? These are titles of books that Dr. Malachi Z. York put out on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Who is this brother with the another $20? Kick up another $20 and I'll respond to you. Dr. Schmung. Yeah, so that's the reality, God. Who else was empowering the people? If the Muslims had a problem with the Christians, they read Dr. York books to go against the Christians. If the Christians go against the Muslims, they read Dr. York books to go against the Muslims. That's a fact. That's a fact. This is our day and time, beloved. This is our doctrine. I would ask the people to go and read the books. Stop listening to these niggas talking about stuff and don't know nothing.
So the pickle man, you're saying, was just simply, he was just talking about an alien.
An example of different extraterrestrials. And he was talking about hybrids. So the pickle man, quote unquote, right, is a depiction that was from a magazine or whatever the case may be. And he showed the skin texture that was similar to a pickle. How will a pickle be? It was green. It had little bumps on it. You see what I'm saying? But it was in human form. So he was showing this would be a hybrid version of a reptilian / humanoid. You understand what I'm saying? So it was a depiction. He just called it the pickle man. But Baba does things like that to draw attention. Here, nigga. Because even when you out there, because I'm going to tell you, you ask like where the Nuwapians been at, and you're right. We haven't been on the front lines the way we're supposed to. But we working heavy in the dark. Things about to come to the light. But then you got people like Chuck Morgan, who actually in his negatives are helping to push the doctrine. And he can't help it. You can't help it. You can't help it because it's a part of he needs it in order to maintain. It's now his job. And so all the believers, whenever they want to debate against us, they refer to the Wapianism. You know what I'm saying? That's their thing. So
let me ask you, just like the Nation of Gods and Nurse, the police was told to learn the mathematics, especially in the prison system, so they know what the gods are talking about when they speak in their mathematical language. The FBI was also given orders to learn the language of the Nuwapian, of the Nuwapo, so that they can catch y'all up as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
mean, all we talking about is the continuation of COINTELPRO, beloved. That's it. See, the reality is that we have always been a society within a society. We're not mainstream society. We're under oppression. We're literally under occupation. And so they have to keep tabs on everything that we do. That's what a license is. When you got to get a business license, a driver's license, a marriage license, a gun license, that is permission from the occupying, controlling community to give permission to the people that's being controlled so they can keep tabs on everything you're doing. So we know where we're at, but it's a language. We have rights to a language just like the Arabs and the Jews and the Indians and the Chinese. They have their own language. So we have rights to our language the same way they have rights to the language. And guess what? Most of the Mukasu, they don't have a problem with it. It's slave niggas. The ghouls that want to defend their system. Oh, that's a fake language. Why? Because you ain't speaking it? Make your own language and speak that then, nigga. Was Ebonics a language? Oh, it wasn't a language until the Mukasu, the crackers, created Ebonics dictionary. Now it's a language. See, so you need your slave master to give you permission to think. And we're not with that. We are the incarnations of the creative force of life made flesh. And most of y'all niggas ain't going to be around. We represent a commercial for the next 24,000 years. So when the shit get going, you had a glimpse of the future today. That's what this is about. And the master has always been 10 years ahead of the planet. So the things that these brothers are debating and going against inside the books, that's the things that you see in the white people put on Gaia. And the white people putting on the National Geographics and the Discovery and all. They're taking the information from the books that he's giving. He's like, yo, this is for y'all. This is for y'all. This is for y'all. We're rejecting it and they're taking it. If he had went to them crackers, y'all be worshiping him right now. That's a reality. You know what I'm saying? But nobody wants to, it's so crazy. Most of the people that claim that they're part of the conscious community, they're really religious. And that's their issue with us. We are not religious. We're not of Abraham's seed. We're not of Adam. We're not, all of those people were white. We don't want nothing to do with them. Got to have them.
Oh man, you might be creating or starting some new shit. You know, Hebrews out there watching, brother.
That's good, man. They crossed over. That's what Hebrew mean, the crossover. They done crossed over like EPMD. The crossover.
Okay, hey, talk to me, man, about why do you think so many people now have flipped on Dr. York? Even some of the members from the camp that left the camp, that left the land. You got brothers like I name a few. Hey. Unk from the Amun Ra squad. You have Lord Abba, who have left the camp. You have Wu-Sabat, who have left. You have so many people who have turned their backs. You got Brother Polite, who have left Nuwapo. Talk to us. Why do you think that is? That you got so many people now going against Dr. York? Do you think they just doing that just because they hate him, or they doing it now because they found out more information that everything was true that the people are saying and accusing him of, that he was molesting kids and taking people wives from them while their wives was on the land? Even Lamont said he even seen some of that stuff going on. Talk to us.
First of all, to address the whole wife thing, taking niggas' wives and sleeping with kids is two different categories. Okay? Because if your woman chose a nigga that's doing better than you, then you's a lame nigga. All right, that's on you.
Hold on, one real quick. I'm not saying Polite don't love Dr. York.
No, I'm not saying.
I'm reading the comment. I'm not saying Polite love him or not. That's not what I said, man. I don't care if Polite love Dr. York or don't love him. That's not what I said. I said he is no longer a Nuwapian. All right, that's what I said. All right, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So naturally,
listening, family.
Naturally, they have different reasons, right?
Right.
But one thing we learned is that this is a genetic doctrine. A lot of their genes only go but so far, and they can't accept the next level of information. See, they want us to stay stagnant, and everybody gets in part of the doctrine at different times, and then they think it's supposed to be that forever. And he's like, but knowledge is infinite, right? So we say knowledge is infinite, and then we put a glass ceiling on it and say, no, we can't go past this level. No, we dead serious. Knowledge is infinite. And we're going to keep going and keep growing. And a lot of these brothers fell off because they thought they knew where the doctrine was going and what we were teaching. That's a fact. A lot of brothers, a lot of in the circle, right? A lot of the people in the circle, they thought they was going to get into position. And so they didn't want the doctrine to change, because if you reach the plateau in one school, say like we as the Ansar Allah as Muslims, right? And now you're speaking the language fluently, you're teaching, you're in position, and then we change and we're not Muslim no more. Guess what that do with you and your position and authority? You ain't got it no more. See, and niggas is looking for position and authority over everybody else. So what these brothers do, they go out there in the world. You mentioned you mentioned Polite, you mentioned what J.U., you mentioned it's so even the brother
Lord Abba,
Marc Lamont Hill, these brothers, right, in their world now, they the brightest star in their world. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. But amongst the gods, he's just another nigga. You see what I'm saying? And that's the reason why they want to go out there. Because amongst the gods, you just Leroy, you Larry, you Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? But you go out there amongst the sleep, the sheeple. Oh, you the God, you Dean, Big Brother Almighty. You dig what I'm saying? A lot of the people turn their back because they became believers. They wanted, like, you ever notice, SaNeter, you've been around for years. You ever notice that brothers from Nation of Gods and Earth, a lot of the brothers, I love the nation. Let's get this straight. But I know for a fact from doing 10 years in the penitentiary, a lot of niggas, when they get to a certain level, they take their Shahada and become Muslim. That's a fact, because they have no spiritual knowledge. So now they go back to sleep. And that's what's happening. When people go through trials and tribulations in their life, and they like, you know what, man? I need a law. I need the crutch. And they go back to sleep. But here it is, all we saying is ask the questions, beloved. Ask the questions, read. The magic of Malachi's pen is real. Come read the doctrine. Because most of the people that's beefing, they haven't read none of the new books. They talking about some old stuff. You ain't even walking through the doctrine to see what the people are saying. Like, come get your stuff. This is your stuff. When you are a Muslim, you are worshiping the Arabs and the Arabs' God and keeping the Arabs' culture alive. You're feeding their spiritual forces. And when you're a Christian, you're feeding the spiritual forces of the Greeks and the Romans and keeping their spiritual forces successful in our life and communities. The same thing as being a Buddhist, and the same thing as a Hindu, and the same thing as, listen, all of those doctrines as a Jew, that's somebody else's stuff. Come home to your stuff. And you want to talk about these so-called charges. If it's so clear-cut, why do they still have everything sealed? Why do they have the illegal plea on camera in the court, but you can't see the goddamn none of the case that's not redacted? Why is that? 20 years later, why you still hiding what happened in the court? And people making a decision based on no knowledge. Why? Because they believers. They don't need any information. They don't need any knowledge. They want justification because we scorned Allah. Because we said, nigga, if you here for us, come through. He ain't coming. That's over. See what I'm saying? And they hate that. They hate that.
Are you familiar with the arrest of Dr. York, June 25th, 1964?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So you are familiar with it. The arrest of Dr. York, June 25th, 1964.
Matter of fact, give me the other book with yeah on it.
And you know, for statutory rape. They saying that it was a 13-year-old girl. It was a 13-year-old girl, and you know, he had a suspended sentence and put on probation, but he broke probation. And later, when he was arrested again for possession of a deadly weapon and assault, and you know, reassigned, you know, stuff like that. So you are familiar with it.
You read this book.
Go ahead.
This is Baba's first disciple. This is Yahya. He was the first person walking with him in the 60s. he tell a story in the book about what happened in detail.
Oh, okay. So it's in the book.
Yeah, we don't play. We don't play, bro. We ain't trying to hide nothing. With the plug for the computer because it's saying it's battery low.
Yeah, get that plug right quick before it go out.
Yeah, let me get that. Yeah, I got you. All right, we good. Yeah, man. You know, the master, man, he gave all the information that we needed, God. You know, and it's always gonna be a smear campaign because I guess people feel like, you know, Bible was smug. I guess, you know, the idea that he was always on the attacking end and never on the receiving end of any hostility and aggression, you know, because nobody wanted to test his square because of all the languages, because of all the books, his ability to pump out books. Look who you name. All the brothers that you name, regardless of me disagreeing with what they teach, their doctrines, look how high they vibrate in frequency compared to everybody else. Once you come under the master, you go out. Even look at Marc Hill. He just recently revealing himself as a part of the teachings. You see what I'm saying? And look how high and where he's in flew through. There's people like that all over the world that got their information for the master, got their methodology, got their approach to dealing with things from these teachings, and then they went off there and got into the world, and all they care about is worldly things. Our people are still in a state of emergency. And all we're doing is, like, in order to be recognized, right, they have what they call the Declaration of Indigenous, the Declaration, the DRIP, Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. We've been trying to teach the people since United Wapi Nation of Moors. We have to claim we need a land, we need language, we need a dress, we need a culture. Hip-hop is not it. See what I'm saying? And even when brothers come with the different doctrines, they're incomplete. They'll have one side of the teachings, but then they won't have a language. You need these things to be recognized. Go ahead, God.
What can you tell me about Tariq Noel? You just dismiss his stance as well, his statements when he came out and he talked about how Dr. York had molested him. He's still out there on the campaign, Tariq Noel. What do you say about his testimony?
Well, first of all, Tariq Noel, he did make a statement that certain things happened to him. He also made a statement that nothing happened to him. Nobody want to talk about that, though. He also made a statement that nothing happened to him. And then now he recanted the recant and say, yeah, it happened to me again, because the Sabaeans are not embracing him. Another part of Tariq Noel's story is that his sister was guilty of molestation. And she was given, in order for her to testify, who she was the one using a documentary that they just had on like Time Life or some craziness like that. Huh? Yeah, Lopez. His sister and his mother were tied into the situation. And so in order to get them off the hook, he had to work for the state. He don't talk about that. Why he not talking about that? See what I'm saying? And now Tariq Noel, let's talk about Tariq Noel. When they started the situation, they would talk about over 187 people, witnesses and victims, right? That 187 was broken down to 13 by the time it got to court. Then when it get to court, 8 of the 13 testified on Malachi's behalf. All that stuff was sealed, right? And then out of the 5 that was left, 3 of them did recants. So out of 187 damn people, we end up with 2 people, beloved. Tell me the math ain't wrong on that. And it's still, the case is sealed, and still nobody want to get and dig into what is really going on, bro. Why did these people? Because these people use so many different law enforcement authorities. You know how much money was used to go get the master off the streets? And when they snatched him up, he had his diplomatic passport on him that they took and confiscated as a consul general of Liberia. Come on, God. Listen, man, we here, and we ain't going nowhere. So y'all got to get used to this. And I'm going to tell you, this was literally me responding because this is me responding because the brother Marc Lamont here was literally flying off the head, freestyling with information from 25 years ago. And he was excited about it. When you first interviewed him in the yard during the International African Arts Festival, again, I'm mad I missed you there. I'm mad I missed him there because we would have had this conversation face to face in the grass. You know what I'm saying? Because we was there. We was on deck. NaturalNatureHerbs.com. Shameless plug. NaturalNatureHerbs.com. You know, the best sea moss, green food, jet killer rejuvenators, etc., etc. Yo, listen. These people don't want the truth. And that's all we trying to give. See, they want us to do something else. If what the master is teaching was so false, why did they offer him a deal? Why did they offer him a deal if he denied his teachings that they will let him go? They offered him that. If he denied his teachings, we'll let you go. We all about facts, beloved. We all about Wu-Sabat. We all about having our own culture. And we about clearing the air. The Adamites, the Abrahamic religions is not ours, black people. Let it go. Stop worshiping the white man and his stuff. Get out of his stuff.
Hey,
That's
Pharaoh,
go ahead, God.
let me know when you are ready to open up the front lines, the gates, the phone lines. It's up to you. Just let me know when you're ready, brother. Go ahead, keep it going.
What's the time? We could go right now. We could go till 9. Then I'm breaking out. I'm gonna break out at 9 so I can make chant.
All right, there you go, family. We got the lines open. Put the number in the chat. Let's go talk to the brother and let's get in. Remember, be respectful to my guests. And here, be respectful to you, brother. That's how we do it over here. You can disagree strongly, but be respectful in your disagreement if you have a disagreement. All right, so it's on you. Let's open up these lines and call it in, family.
Call in, holla. You better go get these books. You better go get these books. You better go get these books.
Yes, sir.
Y'all better go get these books, y'all. Because you see the Europeans, they talk about extraterrestrials right now. They talk about ETs. All right? You see Donald Trump set up the space police. Who did he set up the space police for, beloved? Why all the European countries have an extraterrestrial part of their government?
Each one teach one. Call it in. What you afraid of, brother? Call it in.
We listening, God. Like, holler at me, man. Or why y'all debating on what to do? Let me say a prayer.
Go ahead. Drop it. Drop that knowledge, brother.
Let me say a prayer. Listen, Nuapians, let us pray. Our own ancestors who are inside of our own genes hear us when we pray. Forgive us for neglecting you all and forgetting to call on you all when we needed your help and ignoring you all most of our lives. Who on the deck? What's up?
All right. Peace and Black Power, family. What's your name and where you calling from? Turn it down in the background, please.
How you doing? My name is Darnell.
What's going on, Darnell? Turn it down in the background. And where you from, Darnell?
I'm from Philly.
Okay. Talk to us, brother. You have a question for the brother.
Yeah, I got a question. So I caught a part of it. You know, I'm going to actually go back and listen to it. But my question for him is, you keep talking about the teaching of Dr. York, right? But I don't think you're reading the chat. People have issues with what he did outside of his teaching. Because we as a people, how are we going to follow teaching when the things that they're doing outside of it is wrong? And he got there. I'm using Stephen A. line. He say, when you ask him that question, he tap danced around the question. He started going into his teaching. Do you believe Dr. York molested that 13-year-old girl and these people that have accused him?
Are you talking about the charges that Dr. York has been kidnapped for?
Yeah.
No. Did I answer your question?
Why not? Are you just a blind believer?
No. Let me ask you this. No. Listen.
Because I studied law. Hold on. So before
you're not finished with the question?
I want you to know that.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm just letting you know I study law, so you got to come correct. Go ahead.
Okay. So being that you study law, right? If 20 years we have a case that's redacted and sealed. Have you read the case?
I have. Yeah.
You read the case?
Read up on it, yeah.
You read up on the case. Have you read the case? 90% of the case is sealed. You do know you know that, right? So 20 years, the public has still yet to see the totality of what took place in the case. As a man of law, how do you make a decision that he did such and such if you don't have the facts? What we're dealing with is accusations. That's not correct. So I know law is about presumption and assumption, and unless it's rebutted, it stands as fact. But it was constantly rebutted. And we don't have, right? You don't have the documented evidence. We don't even have.
The brother hung up. He hung up. I guess he feel you ain't letting him speak. He hung up.
Well,
so go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
So we don't, like, even when I say the master, you don't even have the master speaking, addressing the situation.
Call from. Accept.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, this is Dominique. I'm calling from Virginia.
All right. What's up, Dominique?
VA on deck. What up?
Hey, I just want to tell the brother Pharaoh, seriously, man, this is the best representation of Dr. York I ever seen. And I've seen a lot of them, you know what I'm saying? It's fine and a few more, but this has been the strongest, you know what I mean? Just like you said earlier, a time stamp in history, man. I appreciate your side, you know what I mean?
Appreciate you, God. Appreciate you. You know, we all just got to do our part, beloved. Even yourself, like, just studying and knowing what you know. It's just about having that conversation, because a lot of people are scared to have the conversation because of the mass attack on Dr. York. And they use the case as a smoke screen. They're using the case. Tell me, like they talk about they had over 187 families. We saying people and victims, but each one of those people had brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, cousins, uncles, aunts. Where are they at? Where are all these people that was affected by this situation? Where are they at? That's what I'm saying. We know how black people don't let nothing slide like that. You see what I'm saying? That's it. But thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, sir.
All right, beloved. Peace and blessings.
Press 2.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Ooh.
I'm in Rob McCarthy.
Uh-oh. Did you give up the other 20?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm in Rob McCarthy.
Now, I just wanted to say, man, you know, I didn't mean no disrespect with that statement, but I do want, you know, I just want to know something. You made a good point when you said when people get what Dr. York's teaching, it elevates them to a higher level of understanding, and when they come around regular people, it makes them look a little bit bigger, and that is a good point of why they could have left. But my question is, if he is a master teacher and he is so powerful, then why is he still stuck in this meaningful or this human-like situation? That's all I want to know.
That's an excellent question, and I'm gonna line it up like this. Throughout since the 60s, when the master teacher has been teaching us, nobody has been able to stand up against us. As far as in the religious doctrines, as far as language, as far as etymology, ontology, comparative religious studies, nobody can mess with us. So honestly, the master is still incarcerated because of us. It's our test. It's our qualifying. It's a qualifying level in order for us to get what we're supposed to get. Listen, he's been down for 20 years, 19 years. And we have been in disarray because we have lacked the application of the tools that he's given us with the culture. And one of the main things is learn how to care and what we call ashuk, which is divine unconditional love. We do not have ashuk. We have no offense to my Morris brothers with the acronym. We have I, self, law, and master, or Lord and master, which is based on ego and arrogance and desire. That's what we have. So our love and how we interact with our people is conditional. It's based, do I like this nigga? Do I like her? Will they do what I want to do? We have to break out of that cycle because that's where the spell of ignorance has been constricting us and confining us. We have to move to the realm of the soul, and the expression of the realm of the soul is Ashuk, divine unconditional love, and Ashuk is the way of life of P.H.A.R.A.O.H, our ancestors and overseers. And that's where we falling short, and we doing the master teacher a disservice. Also, we're not out there in the streets propagating the good news and spreading and replacing the falsehood and the believers and those of faith with facts. We're not out there doing it, so a lot of people don't know who the man is of the hour. That's the fact. So that's one of the things. Because the master said years ago, he said, I can get myself out, but then it's going to disrupt your lives forever. You have to get out.
Let's hear him. Go ahead, Amun Ra.
All right. Okay. Well, I understand what your point is, and if he is, that's gonna be an ultimate martyr. Because if he's waiting on us to be that loving to make those kind of changes in this lifetime, he's never going to get out.
But
so
the
he should know
God,
that ain't gonna happen. That's not gonna happen in this lifetime.
But God,
so I think if he was to go ahead and get out, that would show his supremacy to make people go ahead and come to one thing, and to show that he has the power to do that, so that everybody could see that it is capable for a man that look like us to make masterful feats of nature. And that will get us all together. Because if he's waiting on everybody to be together, brother, he's going to rot there.
It's not about everybody, because it's never going to be everybody. But those that claim that they walkers of the path that he's teaching, those that claim to be Karadu Shalel, Nathar, or the Karadu of Nathar, the children of the overseers, we should be walking the walk and manifesting the principles and exercising the tools for his freedom. And he's telling us the tools for his freedom is in Ashuk, and that the P.H.A.R.A.O.H, the overseers, won't assist us until we unify as one mind. We can succeed as a part of the all expanding, and we're going to fail as individual persons. And that's one of the things that they tricked us on, is that they have us moving as individuals against a collective consciousness. We need to become a collective consciousness, and then we can access all of our natural nine-mind qualities. But I understand what you're saying. It looks bleak.
I dig it.
It looks bleak, God.
I dig it. Like and I appreciate your explanation.
I appreciate you, God. It was never ain't no beef. We here, man. We're reasoning, beloved.
All right, thank you, brother.
God. Appreciate
all right.
Peace.
All right, brother. All right,
blessings. I do. All right, God.
All right, let's get it in, man. This is the time. We got a couple of minutes, man. Our brother leave at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm going to chant, God.
Yeah, let's get it in. Let's get it in, man.
Yeah. I appreciate the brothers, man. We just need to know where we at, man. There's so many different things that the master's teaching us that we're missing. We're behind schedule. He's in there. He's expecting us to know so much more. Do people know that according to the Sabaeans, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is a messenger? According to the Sabaeans, the prophet Noble Drew Ali is our prophet. Do people know that? See, people don't know that because they still going on to the old paradigm, the old timelines.
Do you?
Go ahead, God.
Do you believe in your heart of hearts, brother, that one day Dr. York will be released and free?
Nah, I don't believe that at all. I know for a fact that the master is going to manifest. Now, how it happens, that's going to be on us. How it happens is on us. But will it happen? I definitely see that. Because you know what? All it takes people to dig. And I'm calling anybody, any editors, any publishers, anybody that's into research the case. Look up how Judge Ashley Royal was illegally over the case after his first case as a judge was over the Nuwaubians, but his last case as a lawyer, he lost to the Nuwaubians.
Pharaoh, come on, man. I'm a little disappointed in you, brother.
In what, God?
It sounds like you putting your faith into this white man's hands. You believe that Dr. York will be released one day.
That ain't got nothing to do with the white man.
That's
to
you
do with
put
us, God.
Okay.
That's to do with us. I'm not depending
your faith in.
Nah, absolutely not.
Okay.
Listen, the master teacher told us years ago. He said these lawyers are not going to free me. This judicial system. This is kangaroo court. The case is on the moon. It ain't got nothing to do with why he's in there. He's in there for being one of the most influential black men on the planet. He's in there for giving us our own language, which is revolutionary. There's never been anybody that gave us our own language. That's why they kidnapped him. And he had his diplomatic passport on him when they took him. So they knew his status. They knew him as a Liberian consul general. They've been in contact with Liberia. The Liberian diplomats have been in contact with the Department of Defense, Homeland Security, and the whole nine, even the prisons. They know this. You know who don't know? We don't know. Because we listening to brothers and sisters that are believers. They're celebrating the demise and the fact that the master teacher is incarcerated. Because we don't have nobody pushing the envelope forward to stomp out the monotheistic religions. We just want the brothers and sisters to come home. Even if you want to be what you want to believe, study the doctrine. You still need to get this in your system so when you out there, you can defend yourself.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace, brief, brother Sai. This is brother Sai Kim, Key Life Production.
What's going on, Sai Kim? Thank you for the donation, brother. Appreciate you too.
Hey, no problem, man. I appreciate you. Just three things real quick.
Now, hold on. Sai Kim, you are a member as well of the New Wapian, right, brother?
Yeah, but I'm gonna put it like this.
Okay.
I was with the New Wapians, right? Until I started hearing the thing Sabian, and that's what one of the questions I wanted to ask your brother. Just like I said, three things. First of all, I wanted to get one thing out the way for all those who out there that's going to see this. Brother SaNeter is not against Dr. York, because I've been hearing a few things.
That's right, brother.
He wouldn't have let this brother on to defend if he was against Dr. York. Now, the second thing to my brother,
yes, sir,
is the man that woke me up. Seriously, I still be waiting for Jesus Christ if it wasn't for him.
Go ahead,
I want to ask the brother, right? If they got rid of the master teacher for writing these books and for putting out this information, how are they still letting him write the books? And what I want to ask is, damn, I lost my thought. But yeah, that's number two right there. How is he still writing books if the whole reason why they got rid of him is because of him writing the books and putting his information out? Because they know every single thing that he's going to write and put out. They're going to know it all.
That is correct. I understand the question. It's a good question. Can I respond now?
Yes, go ahead.
Sure. And then I got just one more after that.
Okay, no problem, beloved. Okay, so
all right.
When they first kidnapped the master, what he did was he wrote thousands of letters to his people, to his wife, to the administration. This is before he got where he's at. Okay? He wrote thousands of letters. Check it. These letters.
Hold on for 1 minute. I need everybody to know you can't call in while somebody's already talking. It's annoying. You can't call in. You got to wait for a minute. Wait your turn. All right? Don't call in while somebody's talking. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, so we have on, matter of fact, I can find an audio. This is from years ago. I'm not saying that this is something that's happening now. I'm saying that years ago, when they first kidnapped him, anticipating what was taking place, he wrote thousands of letters. These letters, right, were now orchestrated, right, by subject matter, and then the office puts in the language, the maps, and the breakdowns and pictures, and they became books periodically. That became your P.H.A.R.A.O.H. And we have audio years ago, master explaining, he says, my wife have thousands of manuscripts that I sent to her, and that the sisters orchestrated and organized all of the books by subject matter and title, and they put the language in, they put maps in, they put pictures in, they put the covers on, do the designs, and they become books. And that's what we've been feeding off of for the last 20 years, because he's always thinking ahead of the game. But
okay, you know, as a New Wapian, we're going to research that because that's what New Wapian means. Now, the last thing I want to ask you, did you hear out of your mouth, or can anybody have a written record or audio of Dr. York saying, become Sabian?
Let me tell you about Sabian. Baba used the word Sabian like back and forth with Nuwapian years ago. You could go back to Set the Record Straight, and he mentions us as Sabians in there. Like, so a lot of things, he already set the premise before we get into it gets to the mainstream. Now, what's the significance of Sabian? First of all, it's not saying that we're not Nuwapian, because both of them still go back to Napata and Moreau and deal with our ancient cultures, right? The thing is that the Sabian is more present, it's more to the modern, that people could connect with it. And because Nuwapu was taking it back, Nupu and Nuwapu was taking it back to the origin. So if you think about, remember, all right, it's 24,000 years, 6,000 years of the sun cycle, 6,000 years of moon, 6,000 years sun, 6,000 year moon, 24,000 years, and then 26,000 years equinox, and a 50,000 year epoch. So how many worlds, how many different things are taking place and teachings are taking place in those time frames? Nuwapu was taken back to the beginning. Again, it's a genetic doctrine. Most people, it was too far to go back. They couldn't keep up. So he picked a civilization, a culture, the Sabians, ancient Yemen and ancient Arabic, to show, boom, this is you. And I'm going to tell you, in a month or two, you're going to see the significance of Sabians, because what most people don't know is that the Sabian culture and the Sabian spiritual science is being hidden worldwide by the Europeans overseas, by the scholars in Germany, by the Arab elite. They're hiding Sabian. It's in their records. They know the sciences. They stole all the stuff from us, and they want to keep us away from it because it ties us in geopolitically. It gives us control over the resources of every aspect of the richest parts of the planet. They know this, and that's what the master was tying us back into, as well as in Saba, being that we're the heavenly host. We're looking for the heavenly host. We are the heavenly host.
All right, we got to move. Thank you, brother. We got to move. We got a lot of callers, brother.
All right.
Listen, you can hit me on the email. You can hit me at PharaohRising@gmail.com. Y'all, anybody got any questions? You can hit me on Instagram at PharaohRising. You can hit me naturalnatureherbs.com, PharaohRising.com. Like my number information is everywhere. So we could talk, we could build, we could continue with, this is what we do all day anyway. So let's go.
All right. Peace, brother Jabari.
Peace.
All right,
peace.
brother Jabari, you were saying something about her shipset. We got you live. You on the phone. You speaking to brother Pharaoh. You got a question for Pharaoh, brother.
Peace and blessings, beloved. What's going on,
Pharaoh?
You
should know that I'm good. You should know he's a brother I like. He's a brother I respect. And I'm not here to justify or to defend what our dear brother Marc Lamont Hill said. He is completely capable of defending things that he saw or he experienced. The issue that I want to be able to challenge you a bit on, brother, is you made a comment. I was away from my keyboard. I heard it, and I had to jump back off a ladder to come and respond.
I hope you didn't hurt yourself.
You said Hatshepsut was a hermaphrodite.
I did.
You said Hatshepsut was a hermaphrodite. And I have to say to you, as a scholar, as a historian, as someone who has studied ancient Kemet for extensive periods of time, first I would have to ask you, have you actually examined Queen Hatshepsut's genitalia?
You mean, did I see her private parts?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm asking.
Nah, she ain't never flashed me, God.
So, brother, how could you actually say something like that? Because I think that one of the challenges that we have is that there are groups that I do not have quarrels with,
only in a very limited space, who attempt to co-opt movements of African people. And I have heard people, I've even heard children come to me and say, Brother Jabari, I was taught that Hatshepsut was a cross-dresser. I've heard that she was a hermaphrodite. I've heard there is nothing in the historical record that would tell us that.
That you came
and
across?
I want you to be very, brother, humbly, I will say to you that I have studied most of the kings and queens for over 30 years. I'm assuming, and this is an assumption, I'm assuming that I am a bit more familiar with this narrative than you are.
Okay.
And so I'm going to say to you that you have to be very cautious when you play into the hands of those who are attempting to co-opt our movement, co-opt ancient African history. And there are certainly those in the LGBTQ community that at times would like to say that their movement is connected to Black and brown and African movement. And once again, I have to say, I'm not quarreling with them on their movement. I'm just saying, let's not call something something that isn't what it is. And that's my
okay. So
my
in your studies,
disagreement with it.
No problem. We could agree to disagree. And in your studies, you haven't come across any information with Hatshepsut being a hermaphrodite. Let me ask you. So would that also go for Akhenaten?
Well, there are those who actually argue that Hatshepsut saw her mummy has been discovered. I don't know if I agree with that. Okay. But I will say to you that all of the things that we know of Hatshepsut, everything we know about her, the only thing that anyone could point to is the idea that she would wear a false beard. That's the only thing. To call someone a hermaphrodite because they're wearing a beard, I wouldn't call a hermaphrodite for wearing a beard. Most of the kings wore false beards. It was one of the emblems of the title. You should also know that in literature she is called the female falcon. You should know. You know that she had at least one child. You know that she was married for approximately 20 years.
Let me ask you,
a lot of things that we know about Hatshepsut. To say that she is a hermaphrodite, brother, you need to defend that. You can't
do you bear witness that hermaphrodites are real?
What does that mean? Are you talking about in the human world?
Yes.
No, hermaphrodites are not real in the human world. The word that you are referring to is intersex.
Really?
Hermaphrodite is a being that can, using male and female genitalia, create its own offspring. Yes. That is a hermaphrodite.
Yes, you say that's not real.
There are no hermaphrodites among mammals.
Yeah, that's not true.
What you are referring to is called intersex. And that there are some individuals who have some poorly formed genitalia of either of the sexes. That is not, first of all, it's not a hermaphrodite.
They're self-producing.
No, they're not self-producing. Intersex people are not self-producing.
Well, that's why I'm calling them hermaphrodites. Because the hermaphrodites, we have evidence of hermaphrodites recently having their own child, inseminating themselves with the bulbourethral gland, the parthenogenesis process, right, and having a child. Like that's something that's recent,
brother.
So you don't know. I could give you the.
Wait.
Hold on. You were just talking.
Let me respond. That's parthenogenesis, first of all.
Yeah, let me respond.
Second of all, you have to understand, if you have a case of that, then you need to take that to the CDC. You need to take that to the World Health Organization, because there are no recorded instances of someone reproducing themselves.
Akira Hashimoto of the University of Tokyo admits that there are many cases of human self-fertilization that have been reported in medical literature.
You need to present your.
I'm giving you the quote. It's going to be out there. You can get the name, right? All right. And the Jose Maria Garcia, the mother and father of 2 children amidst the birth was not expected at all. This is the hermaphrodite I'm talking about. This is something that's recorded now. There's a 19-year-old male, female from the Philippines. So we're going to do the research. I'm going to send you the information. You do the research. So, all right.
I want to say 2 things. First of all, you have to know that you got to show your sources. And second of all,
I just named the doctor, God.
Wait.
I just named the doctor.
You gave me a name. You have to.
I gave you a name.
Let me say to you.
Google is the cyber brain. That's the cyber brain.
Wait, hold on, brother. Hold on.
Hold on, Pharaoh. Hold on. Let him talk, Pharaoh.
I'm gonna get your picture. You're gonna come up. Go ahead, God.
The second part is this. By the way, if you Google Jabari Osaze, you're going to see more than one Jabari Osaze. So I hope you understand that that's the case. The other thing that you're also going to recognize, you have to recognize this. Even if that was true, which I am arguing it is not, you have to still prove that Hatshepsut was a hermaphrodite, brother. That is the point that you have made.
Actually, okay. So I asked you a question you didn't answer, right?
What question didn't I answer?
I asked you, do you feel the same way about Akhenaten?
What? No, that's actually not what you asked me. But I'm going to say to you, there is no credible proof that Akhenaten was a hermaphrodite. None whatsoever. None.
What would be credible proof to you?
Well, obviously, if you're going to call someone hermaphrodite, you would have to first of all examine their genitalia. You have to understand what a hermaphrodite is. You would have to prove that they were able to reproduce without a partner. By the way, I want you to understand how difficult this is. You realize that you have both 50%.
Are not able to reproduce without a partner.
Wait.
That's not a regular situation.
You have to say, first of all, that you have 50% of the DNA from your mother and your father. I would like to see a being that has 100% DNA from one parent. There's a lot that you're saying that strains credulity. But I want you to understand.
I understand.
I don't want to get into a large debate over hermaphroditism because I think that most people will be able to research that. What I want to say to you, dear brother, is you cannot say this about Hatshepsut. My issue with calling you, if you had just said hermaphrodites exist, I would say, brother, I don't know where you got that from. And I would not be calling in. I am calling in because you have said that Hatshepsut is a hermaphrodite.
All you're saying to me is that you disagree. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Brother.
Like I'm saying, I'm like, I hear you, and you're like, yo, I disagree with that. In my experience, you're saying in your experience and studies that you haven't come across anything to confirm my statement, right?
Brother, this is your statement. You have to defend it. I don't have to defend your statement.
I'm not. Listen, I put it out there for scrutiny, criticism, and critique. It's in the public sphere. That's the rules of enlightenment. Kant, K-A-N-T. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that. So what I'm saying is that you disagree with it. That's cool. But I'm pretty sure you also could agree with the fact that you don't know everything and haven't seen everything. And that there's a lot of things. Hold up now. There's a lot of things that you might think you know that are not right and exact. But as time goes on, we all learn and evolve and you know what I'm saying? And we adjust based on more and more evidence. That's all I'm saying.
Brother, can I ask you a question? Yeah. If I said to you that I had $8 billion in my pocket, would you think that was credible?
In a digital form, in a card, I would say yeah.
No, it doesn't matter either way. If I told you I had $8 billion that belonged to me in my pocket, would that be credible? Would you simply believe me?
Look, I don't have any reason to be going against you. Like, I would ask to get some bread. I'm telling you what I would do. I'm saying, if you said to me, bro, I got $8 billion, I say, well, look, I got this business plan. Why don't you invest? That's what I'm saying.
If that is your standard, you're going to have a lot of sloppy investors. Let me say to you.
So now,
someone says that to you, what you should do,
we're going to do the research.
What you should do, brother, what you should do is just simply say, I would like for you to show By the way, I'm a real estate investor. If I say something like that, you know what they say to me? They say, "Where are your POF, proof of funds?"
That's right.
They want to actually see. I'm an investor. They want to actually. I know that folks in SaNeter don't really know this. I'm telling you that I am. But they would. I have to show proof.
I'm not a real estate
all
investor,
the
but I
time.
knew that.
I'm saying in any investment, if someone says they're going to invest in something, you ask for POF, proof of funds, because you want to say, okay, you say you have something, prove it. And I'm saying to you, brother, before you speak about someone's genitalia and their ability to reproduce, you would need to show POG, proof of genitalia.
I wouldn't need to do that.
That's what you would need to do.
I would not need to do that.
All right, yo. We got to move on. We got to move on, yo.
Right? Hold on. Let me
My
address
brother going to be leaving at 9 o'clock. I got to move on.
The reality is with the proof of funds, even in investment in a real estate.
All right, peace to you, brother Jabari.
All right, peace and blessings. Let me address that though, Si. Even in the real estate investing, right? I can get proof of funds from a company and I don't even have the money. I could get a company to back me and they will give the proof of funds that's being inquired. And I won't even have to have the money. I know that for a fact. So that was kind of like a sloppy analogy, but I understand that he doesn't, because see, Jabari is religious and things have to fit within a compartmentalized flow for him because he's an authority over the Egyptian style religion. We don't fit into that compartment. The Panathar are real beings and they're part of our blood. I said that Hashib, matter of fact, the Thule papyrus
is currently unavailable.
The Thule papyrus we have that goes into Hashib set and the breakdown of what she was building and goes into Akhenaten. We also have to go into Akhenaten and what he was building, and both of them were building what we were building in Tamaray, which is the Stargate, the way home. That's what's going on. And so one of the things I wanted to put out for Jabari is, are you familiar with the gatekeepers? And how does that fit in with your religion of, Egyptology or whatever you want to call it,
All right, peace and Black Power, family.
Brother Jabari, peace and blessings to you. We'll build later.
Peace and Black Power. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, peace. This is Morpheus, man.
What's going on, Morpheus?
Okay, well, I'm sitting here, brother. I got two book noons, man, that was with me, man, throughout the community, and they're here. They've been trying to call in for the longest, so I hope to say we ain't trying to triple gang you or nothing like that, bro. But
so you got 3D, got 3 the hard way over there, okay? Yeah, Rahubaat, peace, guys. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let's go.
Well, one of the things, the reason why that we wanted to call in, because someone has stated that the people who grew up or have their brothers and sisters that were affected, how come they don't speak up? How come the family members aren't around? And one thing I wanted to ask the brother is, which community did he come in and which year did he come in, and did he know any of the Mu'minuns and Mu'minati personally?
Yeah.
What was that? So, which inner circle were you a part of, so we'll know who you are.
The other one.
Say again, beloved.
Well, I want to ask him, which year did he come in? Who was his Emir, Imam, Beit Tamal, right? Or did he come in a new school after the 19 classes? Like, which year did he come in? And which Mu'minun or Mu'minati group of people did he know and associate with?
So that question is based on the fact that I said that the cousins and the aunts and the uncles, and we haven't heard them come up to the public. Or you just asked it just for gratification?
I need to give verification of who you are, because I know a lot of people, and I grew up in the community, and my father was responsible for opening up a lot of communities for Dr. York, and I was born, raised, and grew up in the community. So I know. Yeah. So what I'm asking is this, because my sisters and brothers, a lot of them were affected, even though it's never mentioned in the case. And some of the things that took place goes as far back as the 1980s. You understand what I'm coming from? From people who are actually 50 years old right now. So what I was asking you, because you were rebutting a lot of things that you don't know any facts about, when did you come in the community, under which community you were a part of, so we can understand how are you validating your facts to say that something didn't happen?
Well, okay, let me first give you my breakdown. when I came, my first exposure and coming into the doctrine was during the Ansar Allah community days in '88 was the first time, and I was 11. My uncle Aziz is a part of the. Excuse me?
Yeah, I know Aziz from you talking about Aziz from Nation of Islam, the light-skinned Aziz, or which Aziz was it?
No, Aziz was the nose piercer. I would say that was yeah. So my uncle Aziz was.
So if you came in 1988, that means you came at the tail end of the Nubian Islamic Hebrews, and we had transitioned from the time when the imams were leading all the community to when Dr. York consolidated all of the power after reading satanic verses, and he wanted to leave Islam. Correct?
That is correct. That's when that's the transitional time. That's when I first got the teachings. That's when I first got the teaching. Okay. Now let me.
Do you know why the teachings truly transition from Islam into the Nawabian teachings? And the reason why a lot of the fathers and mothers were actually kicked out of the community during that time.
Well, it didn't transition. It didn't transition from Islam to Nuwabian. It transitioned from Nubian Islamic Hebrews to Nuwabian because they came from Jaza Abba to move down to Georgia and build Kadesh.
Actually, before Nuwabian, we went into mainstream Judaism. It was during the 19 classes when he said, when you in doubt,
the 19 class, that's right. So that
hold on. So Dr. York said, when you're in doubt, you go back. So he was in doubt, so he had to go back to Abraham's way. Am I correct?
That's correct. Go ahead. I'm listening.
After reading satanic verses, he said, when in doubt, you go back. So he was already moving from Judaism, Islamic Hebrew, into Islam because he came from African Islam. And then when he wanted to go into deeper Islam, he had a lot of threats from Sunnis. So he said, when you're in doubt, you go back. And we went into mainstream Judaism when we started wearing kufis and everything else. And it was done in 19 classes.
So this is this is Jaza Abba. This is in upstate New York.
Yes, but what I'm presenting is the fact that Dr. York from his own mouth actually stated that he was in doubt.
Okay. About
which
Islam?
means that he didn't know the direction that he was going. So he said, when in doubt, you go back. You know that statement, correct? From his own mouth, he always said, when in doubt, go back.
Well, yeah, that's a verse from out of the Quran. That's dealing with going back to the book that came before.
So why did he continue to explain that he was in doubt after reading satanic verses?
I don't. Where can we find him continuously explaining that he was in doubt after reading the satanic verses? Where can we find that mention?
Hold on, bro. If you came in 1988, you would have been in the 19 classes.
Give me the reference.
So
I wasn't in the 19 classes. So if you
wasn't, you wouldn't know about this. If you wasn't in 19 classes, you skipped a lot of the lessons. You skipped the transition. If you wasn't in the 19 classes, you skipped the transition. There was a lot that was going on that restructured everything within the community. We had to scrap away a lot of knowledge and things like that. Even when he wrote the book about the Nation of Islam, he even stated that one of the Book of Lamb was wrong because he got the wrong information from another brother.
So you talking about the apology?
And he had to read. And listen, he had to read.
So after that, you're talking about the apology letter that he put out.
My point. So now you're reaching my point. Now I'm giving you two references where he dealt with knowledge wrong.
That he what?
Now that he dealt with knowledge in the wrong manner. Give you two references.
Okay.
One, he was in doubt. He had to go back to the Abrahamic way. He had to leave Islam alone. Second time, he miswrote about in a book of Lamb about Elijah Muhammad and all of that. And he said that he had to rewrite the book because there was some errors because he got the knowledge from another brother.
Okay. All right. Let's get into that. What also happened?
No, we don't have to get into it.
No, we have to get into it because you're putting up the timeline. You're putting together a timeline.
Yeah.
Correct?
I'm letting you know about the fallacy. I'm letting you know about the fallacy of information to go back to how you're supporting.
All right, hold on, because we're winding down. Hold on, caller.
Give me a timeline.
Hold on, Pharaoh. Caller, this is what I want from you. What is the purpose of the call? What are you trying to pull out? What are you trying to bring out?
Is that the brother is emphatically standing behind information that he doesn't have all knowledge about. And the teacher that he's considering a master teacher also was in doubt and misrepresented.
Are you Muslim?
And he's misrepresented. No,
are you Muslim? What are you? What is your belief system?
No, I'm not. Well, what happened is that I was always a part of it all the way up until he was arrested. So I had to undo a lot of belief system. And because when I found out about what happened to my sister, my blood sister from my father and mother, and then all of my other brothers and sisters, that actually turned my world, and I had to have a reawakening myself. I had to go into my own church.
So you went to church?
So definitely not. No, definitely not. I'm not gonna give you the weapon to shoot me down with yet.
No, I'm not trying to shoot you down. I'm trying to see
so don't
what's
even
your
ask me, but I
position,
believe
God.
it.
If I don't know what your position is,
my position.
Yeah,
my position is to defend all the brothers and sisters who was done wrong by him, all of the wives and all of the husbands who trusted him, who he had sex with the wives and produced children behind their backs, to let it be known to you that those things that you're trying to say is not true, that your information is as false as some of the information that he even used and put out to the public.
So you talking about, you representing the brothers who lost their wives to him, and you're saying children.
I'm representing the Mu'minuns and Mu'minats, all of those.
Okay, you representing the Muslim children that were abused how? You talk about sexually, sexually, or
you can say Muslim, you can call it whatever it is. But
no, so you talk about how they were abused. You talk about sexually, or just malnutrition. You talk about the family structure being destroyed.
Yes, all of it.
Okay. I understand. No, I understand. You
all of it.
You're a victim. I understand. You're scorned. I got you. I'm sorry to hear that, beloved. You know, one of the things that took place before the family transitioned to go to Jaza Abba, that I don't know whether you know was a strategic thing to overlook, was that there was an assassination attempt on the master in Brooklyn. You remember that?
Yo, can I say something? Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, Morpheus.
This is Morpheus, right? Okay. Now, Pharaoh, you said you came in 88, right?
Sure.
I was in the community. I came in the community in 79, 80, 81, 82.
Got you.
Now, the brothers I got on the phone are Mu'minuns that I guarded. Let me finish, man. Let me finish.
1976 was my birthday.
Right. Well, these are Mu'minuns, right?
Both of us is 76. I'm born in 76 too, God. But go ahead, I'm listening.
All right. So this is why I'm giving them a voice to let them speak, because they haven't had a chance. A platform to let them speak, because they haven't had a chance to speak, and they've been trying to call on. But I'm saying I was there at that transition period. I was in the community that we said, like you said, you came in 88, so you missed that part. So a lot of pieces to that you didn't even understand what was going on. And so the Mu'minuns who's on the phone right now that's talking, they're filling you into stuff. So I'm gonna let them finish. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, a lot of the things that were taking place, they didn't understand what was going on as children. Is that not correct? They didn't know what was going on. They babies. They following orders. Hold up. Y'all, and even your parents wasn't even positions of authority and got the information. They got the information when they were entitled to the information. So I don't know. I don't know the narration of the information you was getting. Beloved, hold up. But can I talk? I'm not allowed to talk. That's what's happening. So I asked you about when y'all transition. I understand that y'all got this built up situation where y'all haven't been able to tell your story, and that's cool. I want you to listen. I got a little platform too. Y'all welcome to come and we can have this conversation on my platform too. SaNeter, can I plug?
Yeah, because
can I plug?
But I want to
plug yourself, brother.
Revision Radio Network.
I want to say one thing.
Revision Radio Network on YouTube. Please go and subscribe, and y'all can come through, and we can have the clear, concise, open conversation, beloved. There's no fear in any of that. I'm with that. I want to hear your story. But go ahead, guys. Let me.
Yeah, but I want to say this. I want to say this in my defense is that my father was the one that was the first black light. He was the first one that Dr. York used to transition the community from New York to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
He was responsible for opening up Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, Virginia, all of those communities. You know, he's a pioneer. My father was always an imam and in charge.
Okay, well, what's your father's name? What's your name? What's your father's name?
well, anybody who knows my father will know bias. If you know bias, you know my father.
All right, yo, check this out. I'm sorry, unfortunately, it's time. We got to close out.
Listen, here go my number. Get out of here. 347-319-9158. That's for
Say
the
it again. Say it again.
347-319-9158. And my email, PharaohRising@gmail.com. @PharaohRising, my Instagram. Holler at me anytime, at all times. Listen,
Thank you, brother, on the phone. Thank you for the call.
PharaohRising.com. Beloved, whenever y'all want to build, we could build. But what you're going back to is a lot of political things. Again, I brought up the fact that there was an assassination attempt on Baba that led to them leaving and going upstate. He didn't bring that up at all. When one of the Arab dudes who killed the rabbi, it was a part of the World Trade, the first World Trade Center bombing. Was one of them people that his name was.
I was there, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, but you ain't bring. I got you, God. And I was a baby back then, and I didn't get proactive in the doctrine until 92, 93 with the transition.
I wasn't a baby.
You was one of the security. He was on top. I got you. He's Morpheus, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, again, also we could build afterwards. Also, beloved, I'm ready.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. We out of here. And peace and black power.
Yeah, beloved.
Thank y'all.
To the family, Wadu.
I'm here to wake up the people. I'm here to wake up the people.
All right, peace, brother Pharaoh.
I'm here to wake up the people. Knowledge to the brain, knowledge to the brain. I'm here to wake up the people. I'm here to wake up the people. I'm here to wake up the people. Knowledge to the brain, knowledge to the brain.
Speaking to my people direct, we got a threat, 3 fists. Make them see us as pets, we need to check. Mind states, wait, you wait too late, we fall. Generations of many children will be lost. Subscribe to the channel and get the message through hip-hop. Putting only truth in music is when it stops. Flip-flop, the game is on us. The youth, they know what's up, they waiting on us. What's up?
I'm here to wake up the people. I'm here to wake up the people. I'm here to wake up the people. Knowledge to the brain, knowledge to the brain. I'm here to wake up the people. I'm here to wake up the people. I'm here to wake up the people. Knowledge to the brain, knowledge to the brain.